All right, so we have pretty much finished up doing all the drywall on the den side and in the butler's pantry. We got a few things left to do, but it's pretty close to it's ready for texture, but we don't want to texture that and then have to come back and texture the kitchen. And so we had to do some things in the kitchen to figure out what we were going to do here. So one of the things we did was we actually plumbed the water line for the refrigerator, for the ice maker there, and then we rerouted some electrical for the refrigerator, because this right here actually was just part of the cased opening, and we just thought in order to match it better, we took it out, and now it matches the other side, which you can't see, but we'll get to that later. But we are going to put back a cabinet here that, well, it's a little different. We actually have to rip out this soffit. In order to do that, we have to figure out how big will our cabinet be, because we need to cover the edge of this countertop. So the cabinet's going to come out 26 inches to cover the edge of this because it's unfinished. But then the question became, well, if we put a cabinet here and it sticks out 26 inches, is it going to hit this trim over this beautiful, we call it the umbrella. It's just this really bad 80s thing. But anyway, if you open a door, is this going to hit this particular part of the trim? I mean, we've all seen those bad videos. It's usually around a toilet where some guy has, like, it's just too small of a room, and so they notch out the door for the toilet so that the door, swings past the toilet. But I don't want to be one of those guys. So I had to figure out where this door, if it swung open, is it going to hit the trim? Is it going to miss the trim? So on and so forth. So I had to do some math on figuring that out. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this piece of trim back to this line here, which makes it flush with this cabinet. And then the soffit will come up and extend, and we'll cut all of this out. But before I cut all of it out, I needed to basically diagram out a cabinet, what it would look like here, so that when a door opened, is it going to hit that or not? So with 2-inch, this is 2 inches between here and here, that would be the stiles. This is a 3-inch rail. This is where the top of the cabinet will be. And then go back up 3/4 of an inch for an overhang of a door. Puts it at this level. This is where the door will be on this cabinet and swinging out. And so I took everything up to the ceiling, and this opening is 20 1/8 of an inch. I put everything up to the ceiling so that I could take my string and actually draw this arc of where the door would open. And it actually, if we took this all the way to the ceiling, it actually would hit this. But because this is actually, the top of the door is going to be about 6 3/4 of an inch down, it's only going to be to about where my pencil is. So it will clear the trim of the wonderful umbrella. There's nothing worse than if we built this thing and then all of a sudden the door hits that and you're like, well, now what do we do? So the cabinet width will come over here to this 24 inches. So it's 24 inches wide by 26 inches deep, with two 10 3/4 inch doors at the top. We'll figure out what we're going to do in the middle section and the bottom section later. But today, let's rip out the soffit. We probably should pop this tile off before we...
Yeah, before you get a cabinet there, I would very much like to go ahead and remove that tile.
Also because it kind of overhangs it a little bit. basically caulked all the way around the soffit because they used this as an air return and they didn't want air leakage because they just had return vents in the wall, in random places. In fact, in the den, I replaced some wainscoting over that to fill that in because we rerouted the air intake, or the return anyway. But this is what you're left with, are these caulked seams.
Oh, don't put, no, because there's a trash can right there. Come on, man.
Really? Okay. So for those of you watching, like you've never dropped stuff behind a wall and said, nobody will ever see that again. Like, that really causes a house not to sell. You know what? Those guys,
It's fine, it's just not.
they drop crap behind the wall.
It's not the right thing to do.
Not buying it. Like, what do you think is behind walls we haven't taken out?
A lot of crap, but I didn't put it there.
Moral dilemma. Is it okay to drop stuff behind sheetrock? What say you?
I say be faithful in the little things.
All right, well, I'm not gonna leave my hammer up there because I will forget that up there.